Alright, so today we're going to be talking about fader caps. This might seem like some straightforward territory to some of you guys just because it's pretty common. But for those who don't know, it can be beneficial because I see a lot of gear come in with broken P-lock fader caps. But what is a P-lock fader cap? So I know a lot of people like to get a little crazy behind the boards. Maybe they've been chopping, maybe they've been getting a little wild, and oh, there's a cat. Hey, what's up, bud? Get out of here. And their fader caps end up popping off, or something along those lines. Maybe you were trying to clean it and you just couldn't get it off, so you pried it and then inevitably broke it. So what is the difference between these caps? These two look identical, if not very close, but they are actually two different models from Pioneer that were provided at two different separate sets of time. And in some cases, like even the modern ones that are cheaper, will have these as well. But the originals would be these. These are your standard fader caps. It's just a press fit, nothing too crazy, but if you pull them off enough times, eventually they do get blown out. And so that's typically the scenario where you see these just popping off on people. And they're not the most tight in tolerance either. But what about a P-lock fader cap? And this is the one that I wanted to get to because people tend to break these. So the reason that people are breaking them is because they're trying to disassemble, but the thing is that they're actually really good in terms of how they function because they don't have the shortcomings of what these do. So in order to disassemble them, this one being a P-lock here, this center section actually holds the cap on. So if I get in there with a pick or a small screwdriver, not a Phillips head this time, and wiggle that center section out, there we go, you'll see that it has a locking mechanism. So this tooth goes on the side that, well, let me get it taken apart here so I can show you. The cap will now come off once the lock is removed. And so then it's got this little clip that's got a little ear, locking ear on it. So this actually sits right in the grooves of this, and this is actually the same for both the channel faders and the cross fader. However, I will note on the 900s and up, this is actually, I believe they call it a marble fader. So this is not actually the same like style tongue as these. It's actually a larger one, and in some places people are like I have one. It's called an inno fader. You get a little bit different options here as far as the flange goes. But anyways, so this little locking tab, this is usually one of the things that breaks, is this actually goes right on here, clips in there, and then you can look from the top here, and you can see on the side here, there's a larger section of plastic. That is always going to go towards your locking mechanism. Now, as far as direction goes, it really doesn't matter. You can have this on either side, just as long as your assembly is correct. So we'll get that back on there, and you can see that that locking tab, if it's in there properly, will come up and then lash around that big portion. And then this locking mechanism will actually be held in place by this white line portion where it's that tooth, and that sits down in there. So what does that actually afford you? Whereas this one pops right off nice and easy, but not necessarily something you'd want. This, on the other hand, is a P-lock, and it's on there. You could probably pick up the mixer by that. Wouldn't recommend it. You could, but I wouldn't recommend it. But that's how that functions. Unfortunately, as I noted earlier, people break these, and with that, you get the Pioneer price of paying for them, and they are expensive. Insert picture here. But that's kind of why I'm actually stepping towards like doing this 3D printing stuff. Yeah, we're not going to get the surface finish that we're necessarily going to see with these, but I know a lot of people don't necessarily have the, $10 to just blow on a fader cap, when really all it is it's just a piece of plastic. Like, let's be honest here. So we're going to see what we can do. Chances are it will end up probably being, if it is printed, a press fit similar to this, but it'll at least fix, the tolerance issue there. But if I can come up with some form of a mechanism, or if you guys have some suggestions, I'm definitely open to it. But then that'll at least make it so that if people are stuck with the scenarios where they lost their cap or it's completely busted, I can get people set up with something that's going to put something in place for, less than $3, something easy to come by. But anyways, yeah, just think about that before you start pulling things apart, just so you don't bust the cap. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Keep watching. I'll have some new content up soon. Hopefully get this 3D printer stuff sorted soon, and we can start making some parts. See ya.